General class?
Which subject, sister?
English, English. G2 for you. General subjects, how many English handling?
Two, Ma'am Shreya and Sir Anthony.
Two of them. Okay. So it's going on well. Started?
Yes, only Shreya ma'am started.
Oh, Anthony sir has not yet started for you.
Sir
No,
Anthony
sister.
also started yesterday 2 class.
Okay. So you are fine, isn't it? Are you fine with the classes? Going on well?
Yes, sister.
Okay, fine. Okay, then, so I miss you all. Okay, I am going to the fourth semester students. Leaving you, I am going to fourth semester students. So I really miss you people. Anyhow, I can meet you at least once in a week with this class, like FNDC class. So this time I will be taking for you only the FNDC. Okay, general class will be dealt with those two teachers. I will be handling FNDC, the whole thing, maybe the prose, the poetry, and then the grammar. Grammar is very little, not like first semester. It has got very little portions. And then there are three poetry topics and three prose topics. But so far we didn't get any information from the university whether there is any reduction in the syllabus. We don't know as far as FNDC is concerned. All the other subjects we got informations and it was been passed also to you people. So some of your syllabus you might see that it's been reduced. Whereas FNDC it is not at got. We have not at got. We are still waiting. But anyhow, I hope grammar part they may not cut it. So I will start with the grammar and then later on we'll go for the prose and the poetry sessions. These are only three. It's just easy ones. One already what you know. I have told you all. I think the West Wind, I think one is there. And another two only bit new for you all. It will be that I will take it easily. It will be easy. Okay. And then for the exam, it comes only one word. So if you read that poetry or if you read that prose itself will be sufficient for your examination point of view. So nothing to worry about. And the grammar, like last time, I will take it and then I will also give you the notes. Okay, so you can refer my notes and that would be sufficient for you for the examination point of view. So I will send this material after my class. I will send it in the Google Classroom. I hope you know the class code of Google Classroom of mine. Even if you do not know, it is in your WhatsApp group. You get into your WhatsApp group and find out where it is. Okay, it will be there. I have checked, it is there. So it's in the WhatsApp group. So those who do not have, you get it from there or you get it from your friends. So please look into the WhatsApp group also. Then I just want to know whether history students have reached because I had informed their sir. I had sent the link to the concerned HOD of history because history students also are supposed to join us. Anybody is there? History students, anyone have reached?
Yes, sister.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Yeah. So that means you have got the information. So for history students, since I do not have here, I am not in your WhatsApp group. Other students, of course, I am in their WhatsApp group G2. Okay, so I had no problem. It's not an issue. Those information I will pass through them through the WhatsApp group. But for history students, any information you wanted to know, you ask me through Google Classroom. Okay, I have sent also Google Classroom code to your sir. He must have given you. So you please keep that very safe somewhere. You note down and keep anything regarding class or any information with regard to the FNDC program. You can always relate to me through either personally you can relate to me or if you want some material or something of that sort you can approach or you can look into the Google Classroom. So whatever you can receive and also the timing of the class. Of course, now year after you have to follow this routine. Every one of you have got the routine. If there is any change in the routine, I will be informing you through Google Classroom. And to know the link, history students, please get through the Google Classroom. I will be putting the link in the Google Classroom because I have no other way to contact you all. Okay. For the others, of course, I will put it in the WhatsApp group because I am there or you are there. We both are there in that WhatsApp group. So therefore, it's not a matter issue. But whereas since the history students, I do not have their WhatsApp group or I am not in a WhatsApp group, I will be able to keep in contact with you only through Google Classroom. So whatever information you want to make known to me or whatever you want to get to know about the portions or syllabus or whatever be notes, anything regarding that, you can get through the Google Classroom. So please use that code and enter into the Google Classroom. Those have not yet entered. Some of you are there, I hope. Some of you still not there on the way. So please make use, enter into the Google Classroom and then make use of the note. So far I have not put anything, okay? But then I will be uploading after my classes all the notes with regard to whatever I am taking. I will be uploading through that. If you want my notes. And for grammar, you need not search for any other notes to study. Okay, I'm giving you enough sufficient notes from the examination point of view. But for the prose and the poetry, it's better that you read. As I take, I will tell you. In the library, of course, we have good books. But then those who are not able to get into the library, I will, when I take the lesson or when I take the poetries, I will be giving you the titles and things, and then it is available in the net. You can also get through the net. Plus, I will be giving you little bit of materials on that. Okay. So this is the piece of information that I want to give you. I hope you are clear about how we are going about. Okay, in this class with regard to FNDC. Okay, now I'll start with you with the grammar. First, we will start with the grammar, and then later on we will go to the prose and the poetry session. Now, one more information is that everyone are aware that there is some network issues. Always it happens. For every one of us, it happens. And no one is free from these issues. Okay, so suppose I get out of the classroom because of this, due to this network issue. Please don't go out of the classroom. Okay, you please wait till I get reconnected with my other system. So I will somehow come back to you. Maybe it might take sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. Do not know. It all depends. So please have the patience to wait. Don't run away from the class. Okay. So please wait in the class. Okay. So that's all the little bit of information that I want to give you all. Now let us get into the class. So first we will take the topic on subject verb agreement. So that is a grammar part that is for you. There is subject verb agreement. Now what is meant by subject verb agreement, or how do we make subject verb agreement? Now to make a sentence, a proper one, okay, meaningful one, or a correct one, we need to have this subject verb agreement. The subject has to agree with the verb and the verb also has to agree with the subject. Then only that sentence we can construct it correctly or fully or without any mistake. Okay, so there must be always an agreement between subject and verb. Now, how to make this agreement between subject and verb? That is what our topic today. Now, let us see, identify. Now, let us look into how to identify the subject of a sentence. Now, where do we identify usually the subject? Where do the subject comes in a sentence? Please tell me, any one of you. Where does it come subject? Where does it appear? Be active in the class. Answer. Otherwise, we'll sleep off. Where does subject appear in a sentence? Anybody? Unmute yourself and say. Come on. Shame if you do not tell. Where does, I hope you understood my question. Where does the subject appear in a sentence? Anyone?
Sister, subject comes first in a sentence. Subject, then verb, then predicate.
Okay, right. So
Is,
that's what forms. Yeah. That's what form. Good, Cyprian. So subject comes always, mostly, or always it comes at the beginning of a sentence. But sometimes we also see if it also depends on the type of the sentences that we make. Okay. For example, if you make an interrogative type sentence, then their subject doesn't come. The question word comes first. So whatever be, most of the sentences we see the subject comes in the beginning, and then it will be continued by maybe sometimes auxiliary verb or verb, and then the predicate or the object. So First of all, we have to identify the subject in order to make an agreement between subject and the verb. First rule that we have to follow is we have to identify the subject whether it is singular or plural. First of all, we need to look into that. Okay, then and then we have to decide which verb will match with the subject. Okay, so that is our first step we have to take. Now let us see what are these rules. Certain few rules are there which we need to look into in order to make the subject verb agreement. The first is the subject and the verb must agree in number. That's what we say, plural and singular. We say no, it must agree in number. Both must be either singular or plural. Singular subject needs a singular verb and
Excuse me, sister.
yeah.
Hello,
Yes,
sister.
yes. Tell me.
Sorry for interrupting you, but I would like to ask: is this class how, sister? Because from English department, no one is. We don't get any link.
It is not for English. Okay, for you some other day. Some other day I have kept assigned.
Oh, okay, sister.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So here I was just telling you the subject and the verb must agree in a number, and both must be either it must be singular or it must be plural. So singular subject needs a singular verb and plural subject needs a plural verb. That is how it gets. We need to make an agreement between the two. For example, with this example, you will be clear. For example, the car belongs to my brother. The car is only one. Okay, belongs to my brother. Brother also is one person. Okay, so both are singular. So when we use that singular, we see. You look into the verb. We have added s over there. We did not say the car belong to. We said the car belongs to because it's a singular and third person. The car is a third person. No, he, she, it. They are the third persons. I had told you last time. So since it is a third person, we have to add yes to the verb. Okay, all this matters the agreement. So then it becomes the car belongs to my brother. So it is singular to singular. They, for next example, they also play football. Now here it's a plural. Okay, they also play. Now they is a plural. So therefore football it can be either it can singular or plural. It can both. It can come into both. Okay. So we do not say here they plays. We do not say why, because they is a plural. So therefore we need not add yes to the verb there. So there is an agreement between subject and the verb. So here the first verb ends in s and the second verb doesn't have the verb does not end in s. Understood what is the difference between? So the first verb, because it is singular, there is an agreement between since the subject is singular, verb also has to be singular. That is why we have added s there. In the second example, they also play football. In that the subject is plural and therefore the verb also becomes a plural. That is why we have not added yes over there. I hope you are clear. Then add yes to the verb if the subject is any one of the third person, singular or plural. That is he, she, it. And therefore, and then one more example I can give you. He drives the car. Okay, he drives. He is a singular person, third person, singular. And therefore, with the verb we have added yes. Okay, drives the car. Same way, it looks beautiful. It is a singular, it's pointed out there. Therefore, verb also is been put into singular. So, it looks beautiful. Then, another explanation is do not add yes to the verb if the subject of the is the pronoun of I, you, we and they. That means it's plural. Okay. I make my own rules. Now, if it is not the third person means we never add yes to the verb. If it is not the third person. I is here first person. So when the first person is there, we need not add yes to the verb. That's what they have said. We need not add yes to I, you, we, they, because this all belongs to first person and the second person, not the third person. Therefore, we need not add yes rules, or we take pride in though the meaning may seem to be plural. How? This is okay. Some subjects always take a singular verb, whether it is subject is plural, or whether the subject is plural or verb is plural or singular, always the subject takes a singular verb, even though the meaning may seem to be plural. Sometimes the meaning apparently it may be seems to be plural, but the subject remains as singular. For example, someone in the game was hurt. Someone is a some is a plural actually, okay, but one is singular. So it apparently seems to be a plural, but then actually it is singular. So that's what is written. Someone in the game was hurt. Then when two subjects, next rule is when two subjects are joined by and, the verb is plural. So now some subjects are joined by and. Okay, for example, Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill, they both are joined here. Two people are joined. Often argue with each other. So Jack and Jill often argue with each other. So these are two people. Okay, that is why the verb is taken plural. Because Jack and Jill, these are two persons. So therefore, on those moments, the verb takes the plural form. In exceptional cases, when two singular nouns are joined by and refer to the same person or thing, the verb is singular, which means maybe two things may be there, two nouns, singular nouns may be joining, but the meaning or the meaning of that it remains as a singular. So therefore the verb also becomes singular. For example, time and tide waits for no one. So here time and tide, these are two things, okay, but they are closely related, they are one and the same, though it is been shown as two, but it is the one and the same. So that's what it becomes as a singular. So in those moments the verb remains singular, okay, because it is communicating the same idea. So when the same idea is communicated, it remains as singular. Then the singular subjects connected by or, either or, neither or nor requires a singular verb. Either me, for example, either me or my friends will participate in the competition. So here also singular subjects sometimes we are connected with either or. So either or will always remain as singular, okay, because either means any one, neither means none. So that's the thing. So it always remains as a singular. So that's all about that rule. And the next is sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by some words like along with, as well as, besides, not, etc. And these words and phrases are not part of the subject. So it would be ignored and use a singular verb when a subject is singular. To make you clear, one example I have given. The politician along with the newsman is expected shortly. Now, the politician along with the newsman. So it's not put as plural, okay, along with. So when such kinds of words have been used, we can make the verb as a singular. No need of making as plural. When such words are used, which all words along with, as well as, besides, all these words are used, okay. Now in sentences beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. For example, there are 4 hurdles to jump. There are 4 hurdles. It becomes plural. Then there is a high hurdle to jump. So only one. If it is only one, then it becomes as a singular. So use a singular verb with the distances, period of time, sums of money, etc. when considered as a unit. Now, for money and all, we don't say as plural, like, we use it as singular only. Please give me 10 rupees, we call it as a singular only. We don't say it as a plural, okay. So in matters of money, in matters of period of time, all this when we wanted to mention, we use always singular. Example, the 3 miles is too far to walk. Now 3 miles, it is of a duration or period of time it shows, so we can always use a singular. Then the $10 is a high price to pay. So $10 is been, though it is 10 are there, dollars 10 are there, but still it has been used as a singular because in terms of money it is. So some nouns, while plural in form, are actually singular in meaning. What are that? Now some things, some nouns, when we see it, it is in the form it is appears to be plural, but actually the meaning is singular. For example, when we tell the subject name, for example, mathematics we say, or we say maths, mathematics or maths or civics, or dollars or news, etc. All these are, though it seems to be apparently shows like a plural, but it is singular. We use singular verb. Then for collective nouns like army, family, group, audience, etc., the singular verb is used when it is used as a single unit. All these things you should keep in mind. Okay, then only you will know when to use a singular verb and when to use plural verb. I just put in points. I'll give you the notes. I have just put in points so that it may be clear for you all. Okay, that's all. These are the few rules now we need to follow to understand how to write a construct a proper sentence. Now, for another rule is the titles of books and then the titles of movies, novels, and other similar words also are treated as singular, and they also take a singular verb. Then a number of some countable nouns, it is always plural. A number of some maybe like some 5 liters of milk, all that it comes as a some fruits, some sweets, all we say, all that also that forms into plural, and some number is uncountable. Now we say little water or some water we say, or little water we say, we don't count the water and say, they all are called as uncountable. So for sometimes, so those things remains always as a singular, but it is uncountable, we cannot count, but it remains as a singular. Then for example, when any of like few, many, several, both, all, some, all this is used with a countable noun, the verb is plural. So when we use these words with the countable nouns, then the verb becomes plural. When it is used with the uncountable noun, then the verb becomes a singular. So for example, some men are needed for the battle. Some men becomes plural over there. Okay, some men are needed for the battle. So when these same words are used with an uncountable noun, the verb is singular. For example, some milk is spoiled. Why the milk is spoiled is put it as a singular, because this we cannot count. Milk is something, it's a liquid thing, we cannot count. But men can be counted. So there it becomes plural. Milk cannot be counted, it becomes uncountable. Therefore, it becomes a singular. So that's how countable and uncountable, the difference between countable and the uncountable. Okay. Then singular in form but plural in meaning, the plural verb is used. For example, the couple are going out this week. Now, couple, when we say, we don't say couples. Okay. The couple, when we say, it seems to be it seems to be plural, but it is written in a singular form. So no, it is written, it seems to be like a singular, but it is written in a plural form. Couple means it is two always. Okay, it's not one. So it always meaning is always remains in the plural. So therefore the verb also becomes a plural. Now the couple are going out this week, it becomes. So if any of the words each, every, or, no comes before the subject, the verb would remain singular. All these things just you read and understand. Okay, there is nothing much to explain, but then this you should know, because based on this only you will get questions for the examination. So that's why I have put it in elaborately. It is only just to read and understand. It doesn't require much explanation. But still, since I have written it, I thought let me just read it to you, and little bit of explanation I thought I'll give to you. Actually, it's not necessary. Then, no smoking or drinking is allowed. No smoking or drinking. Why? Because now, smoking and drinking are two things. Okay. But these two things have got the same effect or same meaning. That is why it is considered as a singular. Now, every man and woman is required to check in. Every man and woman. Now, every man can be counted. Every woman also can be counted. So, every man and woman. Every man means it is considered as singular. Okay, every man, single man, and women. Women also has been considered. So it is been put there. We have to use as verb as a singular, because it is mentioned like a singular person. Now, for example, a plenty of, a great deal of, a variety of, a lot of, etc. If the noun or the subject is singular, verb also would be singular. So if the noun is singular, verb also singular. If the subject is singular, verb also will be singular. So this is how you have to find out when you write the answer for the exam. But if the subject is plural, the verb also will be plural. The noun is plural, the verb also will be plural. But only thing we need to look into whether are they countable noun or uncountable noun. If they are countable noun, then they becomes plural. If they are uncountable noun, then it remains singular. That is the only difference we see in between. For example, a plenty of sugar was brought from the market. A plenty of sugar. Can we count sugar? We cannot count sugar. So therefore it becomes a singular. The pronoun like everyone, someone, no one, somebody, nobody, anybody, etc. take a singular verb. Example, everyone is selfish. We don't say everyone are selfish. We say everyone is selfish. So this is the rule of the English grammar that we need to know. Now, when gerunds are used as a subject of a sentence, they take the singular form of the verb. Now, what's the meaning of gerund? Anybody knows? How do you find out gerund in a sentence? What is it gerund means? Did anyone understand what is meant by gerund? Anyone tell me. So long you are listening to me, now you tell me, let me listen to you. Anybody? Very bad, yeah. So far you are studying, learning English and you do not know this simple thing. You will be learning this, maybe you might have learned in your high school. 8th, 9th and all you must have learned. Anybody? No. Okay, gerund means, I'll tell you now, don't forget again. Okay, gerund means we add ing to the present tense. Present tense plus ing. That means it's just like a present continuous tense. That's all. That's called as gerund. Okay. Now here we say that when gerund are used as a subject of a sentence, they take the singular form of the verb. But when they are linked by and, they take the plural form. So when they are linked by and, okay, if they are after this ing and then if they are used with and, using and in between, then they become plural. For example, swimming in the sea and playing the football are my hobbies. Now they have added two sentences there. Swimming in the sea is one thing, playing the football is another thing. So two matters have come over there. Okay, therefore it becomes plural. Now participating in the competition was a good idea. So participating is a gerund sentence. Okay, starting with the gerund. But participating in the competition was a good idea. So it becomes a singular. When only two aspects are added by using and, it becomes plural. Otherwise, all the sentences which starts with the gerund, it remains as a singular. I hope you are clear. Now, anything do you have doubt? With that, I finished subject verb agreement. I have completed. Now, if you have got any doubt with regard to anything of this matter so far, what I have explained, you can ask me. Please don't sit mum. Okay, please ask. Be active in the class. Ask. Don't worry about the others. If you ask some doubt, it will be helpful for the others. So think that way and ask me. I will tell you, even if you tell me blunder also, I will correct you. There is no problem. I don't feel bad because you are my students and I know you well by now. So tell me any doubt you have. Or if it is not clear, you tell me. If it is clear, you tell me. Tell me, then only I can proceed to the next part, next topic. So still time is left there. 15 minutes more are there for us. Anything? Or is it clear? Can I proceed?
Excuse me, sister.
Yeah.
Sister, couple is a two person. It is plural, but S will not come. If two pairs means S will come.
Pairs, which one do you mean?
Couple.
Couple, okay. Couple, if there are one more pair, if they have added, couple is actually two people, no? Then it becomes actually as a plural.
Yes, but two pairs means
Two pairs
will
will remain as a plural. It all matters the meaning meaning of the sentence also.
Okay, sister, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to know anything? Or is it clear? Okay, fine. Shall we proceed to the next? When do you want me to send these materials to you? Maybe next week, or do you want me to give immediately after the class? If you read only, otherwise I won't send you for your. If you go through, I'll send it.
Yes,
Otherwise,
sister,
no.
send to me.
Now, some of you are not going through because I know when I checked your Google Classroom, I don't see any response there.
Yes,
I know.
sister, you can send
But I want your response so that I will know how many of you have come into Google Classroom. And if I don't see many response, I will slowly stop it sending. Because I want that you people should benefit. That's what. Everyone, not a few. So, okay. Okay, then I hope I can. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sister.
Okay, right. At least someone of you open the mouth like that, I'll be happy to hear your voice. So I will know that you are in the class. Because I don't know whether you are on and kept and you are sleeping or what, I do not know. No? So to know that, that's why I'm asking you in between something. So if you answer me, it would be good. Okay, now we will go to the next topic, that is use of tenses. Now last class or last semester, we have learned tenses, isn't it? In elaborate way, I had taught you what is tense, what is past tense, present tense, which all that we need not learn, okay, because we use that in our daily conversation. Because without a tense, we cannot speak English. So we need to use that tense. Tense is very, very important or significant in our day-to-day communication. So whatever be, let us just go through. So tense is a basic concept of English grammar. The tense is simply the way of using a form of verb in a sentence to express the time or a state of action. Always it shows like time or the state of action it shows. That is the main verb of the tense. Now the action, if it is taken place in the present, then we use present tense. If the action is taken place in the past, we use in the past tense. If it is not yet taken place, yet to take place, then we use the future tense. These are the main. And then from there derives the other tenses like continuous tenses, perfect tenses, all that. But these are the main basic tense: past, present, continuous, and future. These are the four tenses, and from these four tenses, other tenses generates. Okay, so that's how we get into. Now, to express an action at the present time, we use a specific structure of sentence. Similarly, to express the action of the past and future, we may use a different structure of sentence. So, tense refers to these rules for making the structure of sentence according to the time of the action, that is present, past, future. Now, the tense guides us for making correct sentence depending on the time of action. It indicates the structure of the sentence, the form of the main verb to be used in a sentence, and the type of auxiliary verb to be used in a sentence. Now, by the way, I had told you last time, I had told you that what are called auxiliary verb? Can anyone say? Auxiliary verb. What is it? Auxiliary verb. Yeah, Boni. I thought you were going to say. Tell me, anybody. What are these auxiliary verbs? Anyone is remembering? It's very important, and we make use it in our daily conversation.
Is, was.
Wait, sister. Only sister and Shashwati Chakraborty. These are the two people most, and Cyprian, of course. These are the 2-3 people I see always answering me. What about others? Are they sleeping or what? Are you people in the class here? Where is Siyari, Vishalashmi, Kirajit? Where are you all? Answer no something. And others. 51 of you are there. And I hear only 2 or 3 maximum. Come to the class and be active in the class. Don't be onlookers. Be participators in the class. Otherwise, it will bring boring only to yourself. Come on, tell me other than sister. Tell me. Sister, I know she knows the answer. What about others? Tell me. Anybody? Come on. Otherwise, I'll ask you person by person. Tense, moods, and voices of the other verb. I am not asking you about verb. I am asking you auxiliary verb. What is auxiliary verb? I am asking. You are telling me the description of verb, not verb, auxiliary verb. What are these auxiliary verbs? And it's very important actually. Come on. CRE. Whether you know what is meant by auxiliary verb? CR is in the class, no? I can see you. Very silent.
A verb used in foreign.
Vishwalashmi Kalai. What about you? Tell me. I'll call one by one now. Abhishek Debarma. Come on. Nobody knows the answer except sister. I know sister knows the answer. I don't want to get from her. Anybody? Then please be active here in the class. Anybody else? Some of you trying to leave the class.
Verb that adds grammatical meaning or functional meaning to the clause.
Yeah, that's okay. But what are these words? What are these auxiliary verbs? Sister just began. She had just began. What are these called actually? What are that? What is the term we use for auxiliary verb? Sister, come on, tell now.
Is, am, are, was,
Yeah,
were.
exactly. So these are the words or the auxiliary verb we use for in order to construct a sentence. That means these are called as helping verb or auxiliary verb in order to make the sentence correct or proper or full. Sometimes we do use, most of the time we do use this kind of auxiliary verb. Okay. For example, he works in a factory. There I have not used. Okay. So he works in a factory is a present tense, and then he worked in a factory is a past tense. He is working now. He is, here is an auxiliary verb. Okay, so he is working in a factory, and then he will also is a model auxiliary verb. He will work in the factory. So he works in a factory is a present tense. He worked in a factory is past. It all shows the duration of the time or the time it signifies. Okay, so he works in a factory is a past tense. He is working in a factory is the present continuous. He will work in the factory is the future tense. That's all. Yeah, correct. Now you are writing, Cyprian. Fine. Okay. Now the structure of each of the above sentence is different. Each sentences has different forms of main verb and auxiliary verb. Each of the above sentences belongs to a different tense. Hence, the tense is the way of structuring sentence using correct verbs and auxiliaries to give a meaningful sense with regard to the time of the coherence or occurrence of the action. For example, I told you what are the types of tenses we have, what all types of tenses we have, starting with the simple present tense, then present continuous, present perfect continuous, then simple past, past continuous, past perfect continuous, then comes simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous. These are the tenses all together in English grammar we learn. Okay, so then now let us see how to use, it's almost getting time, how to use the correct tense in the verb. So we should know, we cannot use all kinds of tense in all kinds of verb. Okay, we need to know which tense to be used and which verb to be used. So if it's a past tense, the verb also has to be past tense. If it is a present tense, then the verb also has to be a present tense. So that is how we have to use it. Now, do you have anything to ask me? Because only 2 minutes have left. I don't want to go to the new topic, in the sense this is another topic, like how to use the correct tense in the verb. This is bit lengthier. I may take at least nearly 15 minutes. So I must take it continuously. Otherwise, if I break it, you may not understand. So I will do it in the next class, in the next week. If you want to ask me anything, you can ask me right now. Anything with regard to anything, you can ask me. Do you want to ask me anything? So see, we will have every week according to your routine. This is the time you have got a class for FNDC class. Okay. Now I have divided your people classes. That's why another person came and asked, sister, we did not get any indication of the class, because since you are many in number, I have divided you people into you are G2 students and history students. Okay, you are in one class, and then the English honors students, I have put them in another class, because I cannot put everybody into this classroom. May not be enough place. So I have divided them that way. So this class will be only for you people according to the routine. For another honors class, I will give them some other class, because I have got a honors class already with them. So during those times, I will be taking for them FNDC also. But for you people, you follow this timetable, this routine. It's written there, arts, no? Arts group, it's written. Arts group means you G2 students and along with the history students. Okay, so you are the group of people I will be taking, along with the others also are there. English honors students also are there, second semesters. But for them, I will take separately. And for you, I will take every Friday, 10 to 10:45 is your class. So that you be sure of. Okay. So for history students, again I am repeating, if you all the indication, the link of the class also will be sent in the Google Classroom. It will be given in the Google Classroom. You check the Google Classroom, and then you will get the link from the Google Classroom. Also the notes from the Google Classroom, especially for history students, I mean, because you people, other G2 students, I can communicate through the WhatsApp, but others I cannot do. So please get through the Google Classroom. Contact me through Google Classroom. Okay. Anything else if you want
Okay,
to
sister.
ask me? Otherwise you can I'll wind up the class. You can quit the class, no problem. Okay. Thank you. Wish you good day.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sister.